Kuzo Zangpola, I am Thai. If you have been seeing some beautiful hand-painted, handmade earrings online, then it's probably Rinyang Artisan. Today I introduce you to the lady behind this beautiful art, Sonam Yangchen. Thank you, Sonam, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I have to admit, I am not a frequent social media user. I am more of an occasional social media user. But ever since I've started to work on her story, I've done a few of my research on social media. And I found you there, and I was struck by how beautiful your hand-painted earrings are. And it's so quintessentially Bhutanese. When did you start Rinyang Artisan, and how was it, the journey right at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, it's almost 3 years, but then I started it way back around 2018.
Okay.
But as a full-time or full-fledged, but I'm home-based, I started it back in around September 2019.
Okay.
So it's almost 2 years this September.
And the last time we had a conversation, we had a chat, you were telling me about how the lady who was living next to you was Yiga. Can you tell us a little bit more of that?
Yeah. Yiga Chocolate, her name is Madam Kile, Kilipete. So we are next door neighbors. So she had this idea of making an earring, and I knew how to paint. So it was like a collaboration at first. Then I actually painted for her, and she bought the raw materials. So that's how it worked. Then slowly we drifted away. But then I have been painting for quite a long time. My dad used to paint, and I paint. My brother also paints.
Oh.
My sister kind of paints too.
Wow, a whole family of artists.
Yeah. Yeah, my hobby is like kind of painting.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I wanted to do something, you know. So that's how I started it. And I actually catered it for tourists at first.
Okay.
That's how it started, yeah.
Okay. And you were telling me your whole family is like a full family of artists. So would you say that, who would you say was your biggest inspiration growing up?
Yeah, it's obviously my father.
Okay.
Yeah. He has been painting for quite long, since I was a child. But then he's kind of stopped now since he's into his own work.
Okay.
Then in high school, or from middle school only, I guess, I joined voluntary art studio. I think you have heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Vast.
Vast. Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's I kept doing art on and off, and now it's my job. Kind of I want to do it as long as I want.
There's a difference between someone who enjoys art, who does art. I like to draw a lot. I even do like a little bit of charcoal sketching. But from there to actually doing it as a career, as a livelihood, it's a big leap.
Yes.
So how was that leap for you? How did you make that leap from just doing it for yourself and to actually becoming an entrepreneur even?
Yeah. It's like this. Right after graduation, I wanted to work. I did work in few firms, but then there was not like the satisfaction. There was no joy. I kind of left my first job within 1 month.
Oh, really?
I really didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
Then I also traveled to Thailand as a teacher, English teacher. But then I couldn't complete that too.
Okay.
So I came back to Bhutan. I wanted to do something here, or try some study abroad, like in Australia or something.
Yes.
But then within all this thing, I got into back into painting. Then that's how it started. Like now that I do this earring work, I want it to be my full-time job. It's fine if it doesn't grow big also, because I'm fine where I am, and there's joy in what I do. I get satisfaction. So I think that's it's like saying like small things matter. I find joy in it.
Can you tell us what is it about art that brings you joy? Is it meditative? Is it the fact that you've created something from your brain? Or is it the process or the end product? What is it that brings you joy? What is it about art?
Art is, I would say, it's like freedom. There comes a time like you have this eureka moment. Yeah? You are out of this world. You imagine something, but then you can't really get into that world. But then in art, we can like paint and make our own world out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing, and it is also kind of therapy. Whenever I'm stressed, I can't kind of do painting or little sketch or everything related to art. Yeah, it's therapy. Then once you're done like painting or doodling or sketching something that you had in mind, it gives you a real pleasure, just to hang it around your room and see it every day.
And do you remember the first time you transitioned from just an art hobbyist to an entrepreneur? The first thing that you sold, how do you remember when that was and how that felt for you? It must have been quite gratifying, no?
Yeah. I remember the first painting I made and gave it to someone, but I didn't sell it. I gifted it. It was to my sister-in-law. I hope the painting's still hanging around. It wasn't that good.
It better be.
Yeah, that was as a gift. But then my first commercial painting, actually my friends were the first clients. They bought few paintings from me. Then those were the paintings on the canvas.
Okay.
And the earrings, I actually sold it to tourists first. Yeah. Then initially my family and friends helped.
Okay.
And now I have genuine local clients.
Okay. Do you remember the first art that you ever made?
I don't necessarily remember the first one, but then when I was in VAST, I sold my first collage portrait.
Okay.
I was in 9th grade at that time. So it was bought by some American woman, and I got around 3,000 Niltram 3,000.
Wow, okay.
I was over the moon.
That's a big deal when you're in class 9.
Yeah, that was big thing for
Yes.
me. It was a collage of mountain. It's a very simple one, but with a mountain at the back and a stupa or like a Chhoden local we see around, and around few prayer flags just standing near to the Chhoden. Yeah, it was like what collage is like. We make paper pieces, paste it around.
Yes.
It's like a craft. Yeah, so that was my first thing.
It's amazing that you still remember. Obviously, it holds a very special place in your heart. You remember all the details of how it was.
Do. Yeah, I do. I made 2 portraits, but painting, that one sold. Yeah. It's been deep in my heart.
Going off from there, is there, apart from this one, if there is another one, a piece of your work that is really special to you?
I made not necessarily painting, but for my daughter's first birthday.
Yes, that has to be special. Yeah.
I wanted her birthday to be special, so I didn't want to be like big birthday thing, but something near to heart and simple. So I made a sun print out of like her footprint. Like,
Oh, wow.
painted a big circle, then with her footprint like that, I made a sun and wrote like, "You're my little sunshine." like simple things like that give me joy.
And does she understand that her mother is an artist? So what does she think of it?
Yeah, she know that I paint and I do sell it. She's like, "Mommy, you need to paint and sell and make money and buy new toys for me." That's all she knows.
Okay. And do you think she's going to take after your artistic traits? Is she interested in arts?
Yeah. It's natural, like we are the only ones at home when her father goes to work. So when I work, I have to keep her engaged too.
Yes.
So I keep her, put her in apron and let her mess around and paint herself.
Okay.
It started around 2 years only. So we have pictures of she messing around with paint.
Oh, wow.
Then I have few collection of her paintings now. She's also quite interested since we are the only 2 people living in the house most of the time. So yeah, she's quite attached with painting.
Okay. I'm going to ask you something I've frequently asked the guest on my show. Women are generally the primary caregivers at home, not in every situation, but generally in Bhutan, we're the primary caregivers at home. And at the same time, we're also now coming out working in offices, we're trying to be an entrepreneur, and we're a mother, and even in parental duties or obligations or responsibility, women are primary caregivers even in there. So how do you balance that? It must be challenging, no?
It is challenging. Even after her birth, I wanted to find a job initially. I was doing painting, but our parents want to get us a job. Family
Yes.
wants to get us a job. In our society, job is 9 to 5 job. There's a pressure there. You need to get a job. I was provided with few options of doing some temporary or short-term job where I can take care of my daughter because her father is most of the time away to work. So I was in this dilemma, should I go get a full-time job or take care of my daughter? Of course there is my mom, but then I don't want to put pressure. We want it to be independent,
Yes.
So yeah, that's how I kept my 3 years back looking after her.
Okay.
I did painting, but it wasn't full-fledged because everything is
Yes, all jumbled up together, and you have so many hats on, and yeah, I don't have a child myself, but I can totally imagine how that must have been, because you've just given birth, and that itself is such a huge transition for a woman to go from being a girl, a daughter, to suddenly being responsible for a child, and then you have all your hormones, and then you're also quite passionate about painting and you want to do that. So I can imagine.
Yeah, it's there's not much to do, but there's lots of things to do, and you're very tired, exhausted by end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're not happy or satisfied or content. Yeah, that was part of that phase. Yeah.
Okay. And now, how would you say the situation is?
Now that she goes to daycare, I get quite a time for myself to do. I told you earlier, I'm home-based, so yeah, I get a lot of time. I just finish household chores as early as possible and get myself on the table whole day. Yeah.
What do you think can be done by maybe the society, or maybe it's the way our family dynamics work, that could support women more? Because we're caregivers, like I was saying, we're also now out in the world hustling as artists, as entrepreneurs, as civil servants. So what do you think can happen to support us more? Because it is an enormous amount of pressure, to do really well in both very competitive and stressful aspects of our lives.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I would say there should be a bit of change in mindset. Women shouldn't be the only one looking after their child. There is what you call daycare center and all, but then to keep a young baby or a newborn it's not what you call trustworthy for a new mom. I think just the changing of mindset, women should be doing everything, that should be changed. That would make quite a difference.
Right now we're somehow managing, right? But now you have a daughter. So what would you want for her future?
She can do whatever she wants. We don't want to push family pressure, study pressure, world pressure, everything on her. Grow up the way she wants, but with discipline like with the principal. Yeah.
And now going to your, like, because we're talking about your family, how is your family set up from first of all the family that you grew up in, your father, were they very encouraging of you, were they supportive of you?
Well, we are a family of 6, my parents, and I have an elder brother, me, my younger sister and younger brother. Well, my parents have always been supportive, especially my dad. He's like, you don't have to do that job necessarily, you just have to finish your degree. No, it's not like as soon as you get are done with your studies, you have to get a job. You can do whatever you want. There wasn't really a pressure of, yeah, that job, this job, yeah, you have to pay for this. Nothing like that. It's always been supportive. Even my mother, though she is she did have low education, she's always been supportive, even till now. Everyone, yeah, there have been, like, not from my family, but there have been few, like, from relatives, like, you should get a job. Yeah.
Okay.
World doesn't work like that. Yeah, you have to pay this bill, that bill. You know, funny thing is, I went around for a few interviews right after graduation, and I have this stack of art certificates.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I went in there, sat there, and like showed my portfolio and CVs and resumes, and they were like, "You have lots of art certificates. Why don't you open a studio or something like that?" I was like, it was back in like 2014 or 15. Art wasn't as like famous, or like we can't make a living out of art that time. I was like, are you kidding me? How can I pay bills with this? Yeah.
Yes.
There wasn't much support. But I'm quite happy and surprised by how it's evolved in very short time.
Okay.
There are like genuine people who support art, and we can do, there's like platforms where we can do a lot of, explore a lot of things in art area. So I'm happy I stuck where I am happy.
Okay.
Despite all the negative vibes.
Okay. Since you've been doing art for some time now, since you're in class 9 to now, you were talking about how the art scene has evolved. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's evolved. Back then we just had vast. There wasn't much art studios or anything like that. There is vast was the main core, I think, for art to boom in Bhutan or in Thimphu, or yeah. So the difference is that we have few art studios now, like private ones. They have opened up, and there are cafes associated with art. Yeah, and there are now there are like international opportunities as well, like international art competitions where people of different age groups can participate. Yeah.
So it's looking bright.
Yeah.
And in terms of being a woman, a girl in the art industry now, so to speak, do you think it's more challenging, or do you think it's the same as being a man in the art world?
To the extent of personal point, I didn't face any challenges because my friends, firstly, my husband's been very supportive, my family and my friends. Yeah, and I have met people who always support art. It hasn't been like can't do art or make living out of art. There were some few backlash, but then I think it's natural to have a bad thing for a good thing or a good thing for a bad thing. So there is a problem of like initial investment or setting up a thing like that. But since I'm a home-based, I think it's a right stage for me. Like in my mind, I'm like happy where I am. I don't want to go in like lightning pace. Like yeah, I'm like happy in its own pace. Yeah, I have like I want to get a studio where people come and see my product and touch it, and
Yes.
then I want to have that, but then I'm not in a rush to have it set up as soon as possible. I got few like opinions like you should have a like studio or pop-in stall or something like that, but then I'm fine on where I am.
So you are right now solely home-based, and your products are only displayed on the social media platforms, and it's called Rinyang Artisan on Instagram.
Yeah.
Are you also on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook
Okay.
and Instagram.
Okay, so in your art, do you see influences of your roots? You're from Sangla. Do you see that, or do you do it consciously, or do you think subconsciously at some level you are influenced by your roots in your work?
Not necessarily, but my earrings have been inspired by textile patterns of our country, like especially Kira. I do go patterns too, like intricate weft patterns, like we call it Kishathara, silk Kiras. My earrings are with all of patterns from Go and Kiras, but I do customized orders.
Yes, last time I saw you did a pair of shoes for our actress Tandi Bidano. Is it? Yes, it's beautiful. Is it washable? What is the material, the paint material that you're using?
Yep. I get quite a lot of different customized orders, like to paint on denim or purse or like this one shoe. With shoe, it was quite I did few research on like which paint to use, like what can I varnish it with so that it doesn't wash off.
Yes.
Like I can't guarantee it for like 5-6 years.
Yes, there's wear and tear.
Yeah. So 1 year, 2 years at the max. So I did few research. Like I was hesitant at first, but then I like doing project that's out of my usual thing. So yeah, I said I can do it. I did few research on like which paint to use, and then after paint I use usual paint as I paint on my earrings, acrylic. Yeah. Then after that, I varnish it with for gloss and waterproof purpose. So yeah, it's going to stay there for as long as you don't scratch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that one of the main challenges for you must be the procurement of materials.
Yeah. It was quite hard to start off at first because I paint my earrings on wood chips with different shapes, like they're light wood. Yeah. So exploring market around here in Thimphu, there wasn't much firm who were interested in it. So I asked in one of the firm, and they said they're going to charge me 100 per pair.
Oh, it's quite
and
expensive.
I don't think the wood chip was as smooth or light as the ones I use now. So yeah, it wasn't feasible for me. And even the silver earring hooks, I have to buy from handcrafts here, and the price are quite high since they also import from Nepal and all. So it's been quite challenging for me, but luckily I have friends from Nepal and Singapore, so they sent me all those stuff.
Despite all the challenges, you're still doing this, and so I am guessing it is also very rewarding. Can you tell us how rewarding it has been for you, La, to pursue this?
Yeah, I would like to say my work is quite small for now, but then it's been very rewarding for me. Like, firstly, I'm happy doing it.
Yes.
Second thing, it also provides me with some income. Yeah. Yes. It's like I'm promoting our culture in a small way. Yeah, because my products are foreigners, actually kind of foreigners settled in Thimphu. Are
expats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They are kind of my repeated clients.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they like my product, and they also buy from me and send it as gifts and souvenirs to their loved ones back home. So now that I think our people are like supporting local made product or local arts or crafts, that's been a quite a support. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, when I was telling my friends that I'm going to be interviewing you for her story, and I was telling them, oh, you make hand-painted art for earrings, and some of them were like, oh, where can we find them, because we want to promote local artisans. So you're right. I think even our local Bhutanese people, we are always looking to support each other, which is such a nice thing to see. And I want to thank you for being such an example of, never giving up, following your dream, despite the challenges, looking at the rewarding aspects of it too. Along that line, there are, as you know, when you were a kid, there must be another Sonam Yangchen somewhere who is interested in art and who wants to, but probably does not know how to do it. So what would be your advice to young aspiring artists out there right now?
I would like to advise them that be happy in what you do, be in your happy place. There will be some challenges, but then be persistent, if you want to achieve what you want, you will achieve it not as like an instant, but then, if you are persistent and then you keep on working towards it, you will achieve it. Yeah. I think I like painting with all the colors, but personally I like blue, white and yellow. Quiet time after everybody leaves home. I can't choose favorite thing about my daughter. She is my favorite thing. Nature inspires me and woman inspires me. I think my crazy friends. Speaking is a big deal, but then even if you can't speak and if you can express your freedom of speech through painting, I think that's a big thing. I would have rather tried 100 projects and failed. Yeah. Honestly, I don't want any of that, because I don't want like predictions, or like I don't want my paint to do the thing that I want to do.
Thank you for making time for us and for this amazing talk. I think I've gotten to know you more since the last time we chatted. And thank you guys for watching. Do remember, you're strong, you're smart, you're beautiful, and your story needs to be heard. Take care.